Welcome to Drummers Paradise, a place for drummers to connect and get to know what drives their passion for groove. Please feel free to join our growing community by heading over to our official YouTube page and hitting that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into it.
Today joining us, we have a true musical savant. From Barrie, Ontario, please welcome Jamie Taylor. You might recognize this man from playing drums in Flood from the 90s, Vitology, an amazing Pearl Jam tribute band, or Cincinnati Gentlemen. We are stoked to sit down with him today and get to know what drives his passion for groove. But first, let's check out this video of him killing it on the kit.
Here it is. Check it out. Jamie, that was killer, eh?
That
was solid playing, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for joining us today, man. That was amazing.
Thanks for having me here, boys.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's great.
Absolutely. Cool. So let's start off by getting to know you a little bit. Where did you grow up from?
I grew up in Montreal, a town called Ville-Salle, kind of a suburb of Montreal.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
And I was through the 70s, and my father moved us here in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
In Barrie, Ontario, specifically in 89.
Oh, you came straight to Barrie.
Yes. No, we did spend some time in Mississauga, you know, early teen years and stuff. But I've been in Barrie boy for since 89 or so.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that's kind of, I wouldn't say I started playing music out in Barrie, but you know what I mean? Very early on, I met Shane Heath.
Okay, yeah.
And I played with my brother Sean Taylor my whole life, right?
Right,
So and Chris
yes.
Kaplinski is another name too. He's a fantastic sound man, right? So that was our little crew. That a couple other boys too, Jeff Jordan, like a little old school Barrie stuff going on. But we were really young lads back then, and you know what I mean. So
Nice.
been here ever since.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
It is.
Well, Jamie, what influences were in your life that got you into playing drums, and how old were you?
I really young, like I'm, you know, showing my age a little bit, but Kiss was a really big band. So kind of anything Kiss.
Okay.
Even before I was in kindergarten, that was a big thing. It would be the Montreal Canadiens and Kiss, Montreal Expos. That was about it, right? And I'd say I have a lot of family members that play, no drummers at the time, but like it was kind of intrigued me a lot. My brother too. My brother Sean's a musician as well, but we kind of liked Peter Criss, you know, and all that action. But when I saw Van Halen and videos became big, and the more English TV I got to see because more channels came in, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that blew my mind too, you know. And you know, from there I never realized you could just play drums. I knew you can go play hockey or play, but I didn't know you can just get it. So it took me a few years to get something going and to say I might be able to do that. You know,
Awesome.
It was awesome. I never looked back.
All right.
You know.
What was your first drum kit that you got?
My mom and dad got me a Pearl International kit. I'll never
Okay.
forget that. Wine red.
Yeah, okay.
Stuff like that you
Wine.
remember, right? It
Yeah.
was pretty awesome. In La Scala Music in Mississauga. I can't believe I'm remembering this. I can't remember yesterday. But it was awesome. You guys know that exact feeling. Yeah, he knows the feeling.
Yeah.
But you know when you first sit on one, I didn't know that it was gonna sound or feel like. I guess I got to play my buddy Rohit's a little bit. This guy Rohit Sardana, fantastic drummer. So he would have been my only real influence, and you know, and let me touch it every once in a while. So it was a Pearl International, and you know, played that for quite a few years.
Love it.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you,
Wine red.
Yeah. Wine red.
Wine red, that's what they
Sexy
called
color.
It was.
Yeah.
I stripped it off and spray painted it gold, but that's another story.
Nice. What kit do you play now? Tell us something-
My
some
main
here.
kit is a nice, they call it a Ludwig Classic reissue, but I bought
Nice.
it in 94, so it was a reissue of like a 68. It's got a really nice blue kind of green on it, but it's jazz sizes. I played in a hard rock band, Flood, in the 90s.
Yes.
Shane Heath, my brother Sean, Scott Flynn, but we played enough, we played loud, so you know what I mean? I probably did a lot of damage to my legs when I would hit that drum real hard without a mic to it, but when you mic a 20-inch kick up and that 14-inch floor tom, it kind of sounded awesome. I didn't use a lot of drums and stuff, so it sounded kind of full to me, right? Yeah. Whereas big drums get me off these days too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's best of both worlds. So my my secondary kit that I chuck around with has a bit bigger sizes.
Nice.
The Ludwig's that maple sound. You know what I mean? And I do
Yes.
have a Tama maple snare that I've had since 1990 that
Beautiful.
they always told me when I was young, wait till your wood gets old. And I didn't know what that meant. And I think I do now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Just the
I just
sound,
put
the
them new
tone.
skins on it and it's...
What kind of heads did you play on it?
I would know that for 30 years or so, I'd play like the Ambassadors on the top. So if
Okay.
I find them, that's usually what I'm getting. But I do play a lot of Evans now.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I will flip. I never thought it would. It's always going to be a coded
Coded.
Ambassador
It's coded.
I like that on the
Nice.
batter heads anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for Tom's, it was always, what was it? Pinstripes. What was it?
Pinstripes.
Power
Yeah, I
stripes.
like pinstripes,
And then
yeah,
I feel like they went
hydraulics
away. So I'd just go to Music Pro and I'd say, whoever's working there, what are you playing? Give me that.
Okay,
It
yeah,
wouldn't
that's
bother
cool.
me. Okay, every 3 months or so.
Yeah.
You know, and just grab whatever
Try
and see if
different
I
stuff.
find them. So a lot of this Evans stuff seems really awesome to me.
That's awesome. So, Jamie, are you self-taught or have you had any instruction throughout your drumming career?
Yeah, well, I am self-taught, but I kind of really always admired people who read music and stuff. So I kind of like played for a year and really tried to learn a lot of beats and everything I could. And then my mother got me a Carmine Appice realistic rock book.
Nice.
And that was back when it had like the music notes, but it also had like a really floppy piece of vinyl. So I could look at it and it was kind of yikes, but I could listen to it and then play it back and I go, I already knew a lot of it. So it gave me confidence to like, and then I would, to move forward in the book. And I learned a dotted 8th and 16th note, right? So something like that. And I learned how to kind of read that as well. Like it kind of started clicking for me a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was a great book. But I do remember, I don't know if you guys had this in Ontario, we had, when I moved to Ontario in grade 5, we had a recorder class, like a music class.
Yes.
I put the recorder up my nose. I hated it, but I do remember
refuse.
quarter notes and eighth notes.
Yeah,
So that's
you had to
where
learn
we
Mary Had a
start.
Little Lamb.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It was that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I hated that, but I do remember that, like, that made sense to me, like when I started playing drums. Because people would tell me, like, do this, do that, and the other thing, but I didn't really get it. But I, like, right away, I was lucky that I could kind of play a quarter note beat, but play like something off with my kick. So I was like, okay, you got to be able to kind of play off of things. And, but I only ever really stuck to the basics in my life, you know what I mean? And stuck with that, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
quarters,
understand.
eights, sixteens, triplets, and triplets. You know the story, right? So, but you know, and then
That's
go
great.
from there.
Nice.
great.
So where do you, with so much information out there, where do you suggest people go to get a good foundation?
When I was teaching, I taught of the same books, and we're going to go back a few years. I haven't taught for say. I was teaching as recent as like 3 years ago.
Oh, nice.
But so I would, for years, I would bring out my Carmine Appice book, photocopy, whatever we got to do with it, especially the first 10, 15 pages of that.
Yeah.
The syncopation one, you know, with the drummer
That's
marching.
a great one, the blue syncopation.
That's
book,
right.
yes.
And I do a
Blue and
few
white.
pages of that with the kids. Because most kids, you get them for a year or two. If I'm lucky, I would be happy and go from there. And a lot of them want to learn songs too. And then the stick control. So I spent a lot of time on a stick control
Stick
one,
control, that's a
even
great
page one. Like you know, I would teach them, man, even if you just do, or whoever, just page one, kind of frontwards and backwards. I used to be more religious with that stuff.
Yeah.
So I do, and then I did have with Shane Heath again and Chris Kaplinski in high school. We did take music class, and we had a blast. And she let me play the drums, so I was so stoked. And I used to, even then, I had a hard time with reading, so I'd be like, "Play me the music first." You go, "No, you're not allowed to do that." You know what I mean? Like, but I can play that. But what's this tie thing? What's this like? But Mrs. Rogers was really good, or Miss Rogers, and you know, kind of like, so I have that little bit, and I like that because if you don't have a great memory like myself, or if there's like a lot of songs that would be thrown at me, I'm going, oh my God, they're so similar. But if I can write out just a few bars here or there, you know?
And you took away from it, right? You remember it, you learned stuff from
That's
it,
it.
and it made you the drummer you are today, right?
That's right. That's right.
It taught you the rudiments, it taught you
That's right.
all the fundamentals, right?
Yeah, and the woman that Miss Rogers that I would be talking about in Barrie North there, she wouldn't even have to get on the kit. Could explain. That's what I liked. Right?
Yes.
She's just telling you,
Play like this.
right?
Ta-ta-ta,
That's
boom,
it.
boom, boom.
That's it. Tell you what the rhythm was. Oh, I think that might be clicking with me right now.
Right.
But
That's awesome. So what do you feel some of the key elements are to developing a solid foundation when it comes to drumming?
I think I'll say again, definitely learning that very basic 1, 2, 3, 4 beat with your hi-hats.
Yeah.
At the same time, I would always teach that, like, here, watch, 1, 2, 3, 4, but in the future, don't start with your foot. So learn the most basic things, but then reverse them, or learn the rules to break the rules. Because when I started playing in bands and writing music and stuff, I did not ever think about what was a rule, especially when you write with a guitar player like my brother who would play in 5 and 7. We wouldn't even know what 5 and 7 was yet. You know, I'm like, what are you doing, man? I'm trying to count this, and you know what I mean. But so you either kind of rely on that math stuff, or if you play with people, I don't even want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Well, now you're just going by feel, right?
Yeah.
But if you can learn very basic, like quarter notes, eighth notes, then your 16th notes, and playing off of your eighth notes with your hi-hat, all the basic things we learn to do, well, you can play 30 songs a night if you're a young person wanting to do that. Back then, there was a big thing when I was younger. I want to get together and play in the bar at a, you know what I mean? It wasn't always, but by about 16, maybe we would be like, well, we don't necessarily got to do that. Let's just write music for 3 hours a night, right? You know what I mean? And so where that goes.
Get together and jam.
Yeah, play the bar for no money, and it doesn't matter, right? You know? Yeah. So that was where that led, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So fill us in when you started playing gigs, live shows, and maybe even some festivals.
We were young when we started kind of playing around here in Barrie and some of the older bands around town. Back then, there wasn't as much do-it-yourself stuff. So we play like a place called the Clifton, and I was underage,
Clifton.
right? And we'd be hiding in the back, things like that. But as if we want to go kind of past high school kind of things where we had some fun experiences and stuff, like I would say that band Flood that I was in, once again, Shane Heath and my brother, guy Scott Flynn, we were young and we treated it like a job.
This was
like
the 90s, right?
Yeah, 93, 94 starting out. And we didn't even know what we were doing. People thought we did, maybe. But we just would go from whoever was the last guy off of work, man, you're going till 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Back then you could do a lot of stuff like that. And we didn't know what we were doing, but we knew we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so we teach Shane became a great recording engineer.
Oh, yeah,
so
still
we would
is,
just teach ourselves how to do all these things, and
that's fun.
Use an 8-track, then a 16. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and we just worked till we couldn't do it anymore. But then one day we went, hey, and that was like 2 years, a year and a half, and then we went, let's go to a jam night, and we were like the only band that sounded like us there. So and that was it was and then from there, you just keep playing. I wanted to hear that kick drum mic'd up through that PA. So it was every weekend, no matter where, all over our province.
So let me ask you this. Do you have any footage you can show us or any songs that you can share with us today?
Yeah, there's what I worked on pretty hard last year.
The Flood stuff? Do you have any of that
Oh,
stuff
I wish I would have some footage myself. I do. Here's the thing. I do have VCR stuff, right?
Yeah.
Videotape stuff. I'd like to go through it.
Yeah.
I could show it to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. There is someone. Last time I saw that stuff, it was like,
and that's
those are
no
wild
problem.
guys,
I thought I'd test it a little bit and see if you had anything to share with us
I
today.
did see it a few years ago, so
Yeah.
I don't know who would have a VCR and stuff. Sometimes me and Shane will pass stuff like that around, but I did see that there was someone posted something online like last year. A guy named Roger. I know he's a promoter of some sort somewhere around. We might have done something with him a long time ago. So it does seem like ancient history at times, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fun, though. That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Good
Cool.
times.
Nice.
So is there a funny tour story that you're comfortable with sharing with us on Drummer's Paradise here today?
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I'll go with an innocent one, I guess. One of the last ones. I drummed for Kansas Stone for a while, and those guys are fun when we're like little kids, and the singer Brian is the worst one like that. And I forget where we were because we were all. I just remember going back to a hotel, and we're gonna be big babies, like big grown men being babies and little kids, and we're jumping around in the pool at 1 a.m. and having fun. And I get out the pool, and all I hear is Brian go, "Run!" And we start running. Well, I'm running. Well, we run around the hotel. I don't know why we're running. I guess somebody came out, told us to leave. We're grown men. And I come back. Everyone's clothes they're picking up the clothes. My clothes are gone.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, here we go. And it was a little conversation with the guy at the front desk and being like, oh my God, what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
You have a towel like a borrow?
What are they going to do to me here for? Yeah, exactly. You know, I was in my underwear and stuff. So I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? Hey, hon, yeah, I'm going to be in trouble down here. But he gave me my clothes back eventually,
Good.
right? But you're like, okay,
yes.
innocent fun. What are we doing? Brian's fault on that one.
That's funny.
That's what I'd tell you now, right?
Yeah.
Those Montreal stories and those things we talked about earlier.
Yeah, that's different.
We won't talk about.
You're right on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Respect.
Yeah.
What tips can you give young, inspiring drummers when it comes to playing live shows?
I could say a lot of funny things, but I think one thing that would be if you're practiced and if you're really your heart and your mind's in it. Don't think about other things. Like for the young people that might not have done it a lot. Yeah. Maybe be prepared for not having the greatest sound back there. We all suffer from that. I think a little more. Maybe sometimes a singer eats it a lot, right? But I've heard a lot of just white noise in my life, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys. So. So be prepared for that. But I just figure if you're really prepared like that, then when things happen, they'll happen. You will lose a beater. You will break a stick here or there. But we're the backbone, and we can, you can keep her going. That would be like for young people to just like show your confidence, like you've been there, and if you're dealing with the sound guys, always have a little respect there when you're.
I think it's important.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you kind
Very important. Introduce yourself.
That's it. And they might treat you really nice, When we were younger, we might not have been like that either, too. So I might have had a lot of more white noise than I should have, right? Yeah. So, yeah, you just kind of play it like that maybe a little bit and go with it like there. And the nights that sound good, they're the most fun, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get a lot of energy from that, right?
Yeah.
It gets addicting.
That's
feeling
it.
that bass drum.
That's
the
what
good
feeling
sound.
that, or the snares bouncing off of the wall somewhere.
You got a
Sounds
good
good.
mix. And
That's
got
it.
that live sound.
It don't always happen.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Right.
So how did you become a working drummer, and what took place for that to make that happen? Was it a sequence of events, or was it a certain offer?
You know what? I think it's more, especially being around in my situation, just being around for a long time, and I just know quite a few people. I did. A lot of people have been generous to me, and I got called not knowing the people because I could play some blues shuffles or something like that, where somebody's on vacation or whatever, right? Hard rock is what I lean towards, but I'll on the drums I'll kind of give anything a go. But I found that I guess just my name being around a little bit and always and if you can, if somebody phones you, you do it. Yeah. I haven't, and if whenever I haven't, I even understand. Okay, they might not phone me for a little bit again, right? So it's kind of that situation a little bit. Fully accept that. And when you go do a gig, like I said, with you totally, it's easy. You can usually tell. I haven't had too many situations where it's like, oh, I'm not going to really like this. Maybe one or two. And that's a long 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. It would
but
be.
I don't remember ever having a real problem or anything, So, but most of the time it's pretty cool. So you just go be yourself.
Yeah. That's
you know what I mean? And it's just your name. If you're lucky enough, you know what I mean, to somebody says, that guy was okay. You know what I mean? So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, you know what time it is?
Yeah, T, what time is it?
It's the Paradiddle Challenge time.
Oh, yeah. Jamie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You feeling confident, Jamie? You
Yeah,
feel
a
like
little bit.
you're gonna do well?
I'm going to do well for me.
Yeah, well, that's
I worked
important.
hard on
That's
it,
what's
right?
important.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Here we go. We're going to start you at 100, and we're going to go up in increments of 20, okay?
Okay.
He's got it.
He's got that.
Locked. 120. He's got that
He's
locked.
got that locked down.
Oh, I think so.
Are we going to go to 140?
Yeah, we are. There we go. He's got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's try 160.
Yikes.
He's got this. So 150 is the comfortable
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah.
Good shot, man.
job.
Thank you very much for
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
part of that.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks
I
for
worked
playing.
hard on it watching those talented guys, and I'm like, I'm not going to get close to that, but makes you realize. And the first guy of the week, the first week, the gentleman that was talking said, work faster. Work at tempos that are faster. So
Right.
I decided to do that.
Amazing. Well,
Nice.
good job, Jimmy.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
great.
Thank you.
Cool.
Well, Jamie, you did a really good job there. Thanks for participating.
Yeah, well,
That was awesome. So now, in your opinion, what do you think the top 3 rudiments are for people to learn?
paradiddle,
Yeah.
just basic doubles, right, left.
Yeah.
And my favorite one would be Rada McHugh.
Explain Radamacue for everybody.
The way I learned it, so that's a good story. I learned it a certain way. You know how you can reverse your rudiments and do whatever, but I was
Yes.
watching Mr. Rogers when I first started learning drums, having a good old time, just laughing. He said, can you do paradiddles and Radamacues on your guitar? Because he had just learned around. So I was like, oh, what happened there? Like, so the next time it was on in the afternoon, Mr. Rogers, I watched it. So they had a drummer come on and show. So he went, it's a Radamaque. It's a Radamaque.
Oh, I
So
like
we
that.
would joke like that, but I could remember that. So I'd be good.
Yes.
So one of my favorite things anywhere around the kit, and especially just like sometimes I like to just, if I'm warming up, just not even think and just let things flow. So that to me sounds pretty cool on like say the ride and the snare or reversing it like this. It just has a cool like little ghost note application almost. You know what I mean? Where I could fool around with that.
Yeah.
But reversing that, so instead of or things like that. That's my favorite kind of like got some 3 feel to it, right?
Right.
So,
I've done that. Just didn't realize it was called a Radamacue.
it's a
That's a first so far.
All right. I
Oh,
like
yeah,
it. I like
okay.
it.
Radamacue,
That is a
right?
first.
That is a first. For sure.
well, yeah. So that would be the one that I kind of would always. I still to this day, it's like hitting an A chord almost for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Cool. I like it.
For sure. So, what single piece of advice can you give a young drummer who's frustrated and thinking about giving it up?
if you want to be, I would say don't. Like
Number one, don't.
If you really love music, like I know, my parents thought we were crazy when we wanted to play music, and they said you're never gonna do that. But I was like, a little bit in my head, you're like, but I already am. Sure, you wanted back then. There was a lot of emphasis on success and all that stuff. But then, as I got older, I start going. I didn't even think about that. I still do it. Still do it. And sometimes you'll look back, and then a good friend of mine who's a little younger than me, when he walked upstairs and saw my drum kit, he goes, "Oh man, you got a vintage kit." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's a." And I went, he meant it's vintage to his eyes. I bought a copy of a vintage kit in the 90s.
yeah.
It was actually a 25-year-old kid at the time,
so it
right?
was vintage to him anyway.
That hit me a little bit. And I did, but I loved it. I was like, yeah, in my day, maybe people have asked me a lot, you still play? You still play? You still? If I could still kick pucks, I'd still be playing hockey. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
So
for sure.
music is a gift that, like, I may not be able to play what I want to play at 60 or 70 on the drums, but I will play something, right?
It's in you.
Yeah.
It's in you.
It's
You
the
know,
passion, right?
It's knocking on my back door already with all
Exactly.
the injuries and everything like that. But it is, and drumming is, it's so much fun. And my wife would always notice over the years. She'd be like, if she saw me a little frustrated or pent up a little bit, she'd be like, I haven't heard the drums in a while. Yeah. Let's go down there and
Should give me some
shake some
motivation.
pictures off the walls,
Yeah.
right?
I
Oh yeah,
like
man.
it.
Yeah. My wife is, Angie is. Yeah, she's always
That's awesome.
box of sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not. I'm not a very hard guy to please, but she's always go down, get that drumming.
That's
do that.
amazing. You have the support. I mean, support's
Yeah,
important,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So-
my whole family is like that. Or like they My son too, when he was young, boom the drum, daddy.
Yeah.
Boom the drum.
Boom it. Yeah. I like it. That's cute. That's awesome. Cool. So we're going to get you to fill us in on some new music you got coming out or that you've got going on and you can share with us today.
Well, people can actually listen to a song I wrote and put out last year called Party's Over.
Okay.
Still kind of pumping that one a little bit. I've got another song that I'm hoping to put out. Last year I put it out in this song in like October, so it might be the same time this year. It's a little bit quicker of a tune, and I kind of tend to end my songs with longer solos. But I'm also working with my buddy Mark Mills, an old friend of mine from Jimmy Stone, and we're kind of writing some heavier stuff, and we've recorded, so we're hoping to maybe Shane mix that and see when that'll come out. But a bunch of cool guys that are been around Barrie and stuff, but it's you know, just keep going other than the cover band stuff, but definitely if people want to check out who I am, I try to release music every once in a while under Jamie Taylor, so you can find that on platforms.
We're going to put the socials in the description below for everybody on this episode, so they can definitely access that. So now what we're going to share with everybody today, you've played every instrument on this.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you've done the guitar, the bass, the drums,
guitar
and the keyboards.
No keys on there. Slide guitar. You know what I
Nice.
mean? That's usually my favorite part to do.
Slide,
It's funny Adam beat me to the punch because I was literally going to say, I was going to be like, you know what, Jamie, let the people know that he is one of the versatile and just an inspiring musician.
You are absolutely.
From the first time I met you and getting to know you like over the years, you know, like my respect to you as a musician and a good human is awesome.
Awesome.
You know?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's mutual.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome.
Well, great. So we're going to cut to that now and we'll be right back.
Well, thank you, Jamie, for making this feel so awesome and special and so much fun. We truly appreciate you and wish you all good vibes and all the best on everything you have coming up for 2025 and on. Thank you again for taking the time, Jimmy.
Thank you, boys. I wouldn't have missed it, man.
Hey, no problem. No problem. We'll have you back out again, too. And maybe one day we'll get a tour of your kit or something like that.
That'd be great. Yeah, I can see you guys getting all that going on in the future.
Yeah,
awesome. It's great in here. Good vibe.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And if anyone's interested in checking out any of Jamie's social media, his music, anything that he does, we're going to put all the links in the description below, so you can definitely get access to that. I highly suggest you do. It's one talented man right here.
Definitely go do that. Yeah. All right. And until next time, everyone.
Keep grooving and have fun.
And remember to hit that like and subscribe button and notification bell.
Yes. See you next time.
In paradise.
I